Paltrocast.
Big Tank, Derryck, what do you like to be called, man?
Tank's good, or Big Tank, either one.
When did you start being called Tank or Big Tank? Because I know a lot of your soundtrack credits, when you were more of a composer, were under that name. But there's also the basketball player who stole your name from you about 10 years ago, right?
Well, no, that's my son. He didn't steal it. I was blessed to give it to him. But
Doing great.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, so my mom named me Tank. So I've been Tank my whole life. I never went by Derryck. And then the singer came out and he was smaller than me, so I became Big Tank. So
that works for me. So it's oh, sorry to interrupt you there. It's a fantastic career evolution that you've had, being a composer, producer, but now one of the top music supervisors there is. That's me calling you one of the top music supervisors. At any given time, you probably have 6 shows on the air. And the Power universe is just a fan base like no other. When did you kind of realize that you were here to stay as a music supervisor?
Oh man, it's crazy because I got the first show and then the second show, and I'm working with Oprah, and it was cool doing Greenleaf, and she needed not only a music supervisor but a producer, and I felt like I always had a different kind of niche because I DJ and I produce records and I produce vocals and I know how to mix and all that stuff. So I didn't come from the clearance background. I came from a different side. So I always felt like when it came to supervision, I didn't have any weaknesses. I've been an A&R at a record company, so I already knew much about all the different areas and genres of it. So once it started to grow, and it just started growing and growing and growing, then I started getting feedback from the fans about how great they like the songs, and they were always looking for music and things like that. So it just really it just kept growing and growing and growing, and I just knew, like, all right, I got this.
Most people think they know what music publishing is, but don't. When you started off in the music supervising game, did you fully understand publishing and syncs and splits and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, for sure, because I'm a music producer. Like, I produced Missy Elliott's 1 Minute Man, so I already had hit records, so I already had to turn in publishing splits and all that good stuff from before. So yeah, now I was very well versed in the publishing arena, just because I was a music producer and I had worked in it already, and I had been A&R at Sony also. So I understood it.
I find a lot of people on the label side still don't understand it. They go, "Yeah, I understand." So you did, which is incredible. How did you learn and begin to understand publishing? Because yes, working in the label is one thing, but they're totally separate things and this is more mathematical in a way.
I think as a producer, when you're making records for people, you really want to understand how to get your money.
That's the direct way of putting it.
I wanted to know where it was coming from and who owed me this, and my master side and my publishing side. And, if I, redid a record or if I sampled a song, that was really, I think, what taught me. Like, when you start sampling records, you're like, what do you mean they're taking half of the song? Like, why are they taking half of my money? You know what I mean? Well, the publishing split is this. Oh, shoot. You know what I mean? So, you start learning different things as you start sampling. And I've been hit with some samples before. They were like, oh my God, you know what I mean? So you learn, quickly about who the publishers are, why they're taking so much money and things along those lines. So yeah, I learned quickly about that stuff.
When I used to do clearances at Viacom for a variety of things on VH1 and MTV and all that, sometimes you'd have it where the person who had only 3% of the song would hold up the whole process. Is that something that you've had happen? I see the head shaking.
Yeah, that's happened before. Not often, but I always those are the tougher ones though, because that guy's not really getting that much money.
Yeah.
So of course he wants to charge triple what the song's gonna go for, so he can get a little bit more money because he only wants 3%. So, I tried to steer clear of those records if I can, but at the same time, if 50 or Courtney or one of the showrunners I'm working with, Gary, wants a song, I'm gonna go get it.
Right. Well, may you never have to clear no diggity in your lifetime. But anyway, hey, back to you and your success.
And Teddy's a friend of mine, so man, he better do it right.
Teddy was the easy one to clear. I'll just put it to you that way. So another show of yours that you've worked on that I've done junkets for, Swagger, another acclaimed show. But there's Power, there's Swagger, there's Greenleaf, etc. How many shows are you able to work on at the same time and still be efficient?
Ooh, I mean, right now I got like 10, so I feel like I'm kicking ass with 10, so maybe 15.
Wow. And is it true that you were working on a reboot for LA Law at one point?
Yeah, man. And while I was doing Praise This, which was creating a bunch of new music for a movie, while I was redoing a bunch of songs and uh having them recreated and mixing gospel and hip hop. So yeah, man, we're well versed in music over here, and we just keep on making, trying to make the best music possible, and also clearing the best music possible, and just getting it done. So yeah.
Yeah, credit goes to you for working in so many different genres at the same time as all this. I'm sure if somebody came up to you and went, "Hey, Tank, we need heavy metal," you would know where to look and still make that happen. Am I right
Yeah,
about that?
I'm
Yeah.
doing it right now. I'm actually doing a show like that right now.
Are you allowed to say which one it is, or we just have to keep checking IMDb?
Um, I think I could probably say it's called Sinking Springs. I'm working with Ridley Scott. Um,
Wow.
this is my first time working with Ridley Scott, so I'm excited about that.
So you as an artist, is there anything coming up? I assume that some of your original music is going into these shows as well.
Nah, you know what? I don't touch them. Unless they ask me to. You know what I mean? Like I know every producer out there though. I can call DJ Premier up in a second, or Ninth Wonder up in a second, or I can touch anybody. So if I need to get in touch with Rihanna, I get in touch with Rihanna. So, it's been great that, since I have so much music and been working in the industry for so long, to have those relationships where I can kind of just get in touch with whoever I want to get in touch with, that I'm offering opportunities. But also, the real beauty of this, like on Force, is offering opportunities to Chicago artists that no one's heard of yet, and finding those records that no one's heard and that are dope, and giving those guys an opportunity to shine on these shows, and they can upload it then, and because the fans go crazy looking for these songs that have not yet been released. So, to be able to have that kind of opportunity, and to give those kind of opportunities has been great.
And The Shy, that's yet another credit of yours that people love the music from. So
Yeah.
when somebody wants to get a song over to Tank, what's the best way to submit that track?
Woo, man. How you trying to get me beat up right now? They're gonna go
Is
crazy.
it a DM thing, or just the right people will find you and that's it?
No, no, no. My Instagram is probably the best way that I've been able to find new talent. When people are really on top of it, they will just continue to hit me because I get so many. Um, but if they're really consistent, eventually I'm gonna answer it and be like, hey, let me hear something. And they'll send me, I'll have them send me an email, and I don't get my email address out because I already get a couple hundred emails every day. So if
Yeah.
I did, it would be overwhelming. So, but once I hear, if they send me something in my DM and I like it, I'll reach out to them.
Well, when you're not busy with all these shows you got going on, all the great shows, including the Power Universe programs, where does your free time usually go?
Man, I spend probably most of my time just hanging out with my kids. Like if you look on my Instagram, we were in the pool yesterday, just kind of chilling. I'm a dad first. Like nothing's better than that. And I love TV and I love music, but being a dad is always number one, for real.
Now, is your son a basketball player because you pushed him to that, or is he a basketball player because he did everything but listen to you?
He's definitely a basketball player because I pushed him to that. I would say, and he makes beats. You know what I'm saying? So I think that when you love something, you just expose it to your children. You know what I mean? I've showed, my children everything that I do. I want to offer them all the opportunities that I had. And, there was things that my mom couldn't show me, but I was fortunate enough to be, blessed enough to see it. And I believe if you can see it, you can be it. So I'm going to try to expose my children to everything. And not only my children, like if you're around me and I got love for you, if there's anything I can do and show you anything, I'm going to show you. And, if it's something you love to do, I want to try and help you get there, and make that your career as well.
Nice. Well, two quick questions, then I let you go. The first question is, who's your favorite character in the Power universe? Do you have one?
Ooh, man, that's a tough one. I don't even know if I can do favorite character on every show, to be honest with you, because I love to death Patina, Rock, but the kid that's playing Kanan is special. Like, and Joey Badass on Kanan, like, so you know what I'm saying? Like, so I do the same thing on Ghost. If you tell me you don't love Kane on Ghost or Michael on Ghost, you're bugging. Like, how do you not love those? Like, just they're always at each other. You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
I mean, Forrest, Diamond and Jannard are both exceptional, and Joe's Joe. I mean, Joe's an OG. You know what I mean? He's killing it. And then BMF, the two brothers, and Russell, and I mean, and their mom. I mean, they're all just so. They're just all so good.
Yeah.
It's
It's
impossible to pick just one.
it's kind of like The Sopranos, where you don't just like two or three characters. You like the mobster who just has two lines, and you go,
Right.
How- yeah. And last question before I let you go. What's the last concert that you went to for fun? Not just because you had to show up and serve a contract, but you actually said, I want to go to this.
You know what? For my birthday, I went to it's called Lovers and Friends out here in Vegas, where I live at, and it was exceptional. But there was like 40 groups there. So getting to see Missy, who I produce records on, and it's so funny, Christina Aguilera, who I produce records on, all these guys are there, and I don't think about it when I'm going, and then I'll hear a song, and I'm like, oh damn, I did that. That's crazy. I'm really going as a fan. Like, I'm truly just going as a fan. And then I'll hear my record and go, wow, that's crazy. So but I love going to shows.
Well, Tank, thank you for the many years of great music. Congratulations on this growth on the music supervisor, and I'm really looking forward to what's coming next for me in the near future, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Paltrocast.